learners, welcome to today's lesson. Today, we will explore how to express actions and events that happened in the past. By the end of this lesson, you will get an idea about how to talk about past experiences and describe past events with confidence. For this, we will, as usual, observe a conversation between two college mates about missing a class. So, let's get started. Reena says, "Gotokal college e ki holo?" Reena says, "What happened in college yesterday?" Kobir replies, "Kal onek kichu holo. Tumi keno ele na?" Kobir says, "A lot happened yesterday. Why didn't you come?" In this part of conversation, Reena is asking about the events that took place in college in previous day. The phrase "Gotokal college e ki holo" translates to what happened in college yesterday. Here, we learned a few new words like Gotokal, which means yesterday. College means in college. As we know, the a suffix is a locative marker in Bangla, meaning in or at. So, college means in college. And ki is the question, which know by now means what. Hence, ki holo means what happened. This question is an example of using the simple past tense as Reena is inquiring about a completed event from the past. Kobir responds by saying, "Kal onek kichu holo," which means a lot happened yesterday. The word kal is another way of referring to gotokal, which means yesterday. Onek means a lot. Hence, onek kichu means a lot of things. The verb holo is a past form, means happened in Bangla. Using holo, Kobir is emphasizing that multiple events took place. Then he asks, "Tumi keno ele na?" Meaning, why didn't you come? Here, tumi, as we know by now, means you. Keno is the question word, means why. And the verb ele is the past tense of asha, means come. It is also the second person form of the verb. And na is the negation that makes it clear that Reena did not come. Let's continue observing the conversation. Reena says, "Ami oshustho chilam. Kal ki holo?" Reena says, "I was sick. What happened?" Kobir says, "প্রথমে শিক্ষক আমাদের পড়ালেন, তারপর আমরা লাইব্রেরিতে গেলাম." Kobir says, "First, the teacher taught us, then we went to the library." Reena responds by saying, "Ami oshustho chilam. Ki holo?" which translates to, "I was sick. What happened?" Here, ami, as we know, is a first person singular pronoun meaning I. The word following word oshustho means sick or unwell. And chilam is the past tense of achi, which is to be, means was. This indicates that Reena was unwell on the previous day, which is why she could not attend the college. Then she asks, "Ki holo?" means what all happened? The repetition of ki emphasizes that she wants to know about multiple events or details, not just one thing. This is a common structure in Bangla for asking about multiple occurrences. Kobir responds, "প্রথমে শিক্ষক আমাদের পড়ালেন, তারপর আমরা লাইব্রেরিতে গেলাম." Means, first the teacher taught us, then we went to the library. Here, প্রথমে means first or at the beginning. শিক্ষক is referred to their teacher. Next word, amader, is the first person plural pronoun we know means us. The verb poralen is the past tense of porano, which means taught. This indicates that the teacher conducted a lesson at the start of the day. But please observe, since the teacher is always talked about in a respectful tone, the honorific verb form has been used. Kobir says then, "Tarpor amra libraryte gelam," means then we went to the library. Here, tarpor means then or after that, showing a sequence of events. The word amra, we know, is the first person plural pronoun, means we. Library means library, and te is the location marker indicating the direction or location meaning to the library. Gelam is the past tense of Java, meaning went. This tells us that after the class they all visited the library. Let's continue with another conversation. Reena says, "Oh, কাল তুমি কি পড়লে?" Reena says, "Oh, what did you read yesterday?" Kobir says, "আমি বাংলা সাহিত্য পড়লাম." Kobir says, "I read Bangla literature." Reena responds with, "Oh, কাল তুমি কি পড়লে?" means, "Oh, what did you read yesterday?" Here, "oh" is an expression of surprise or realization, similar to "oh" in English. It indicates that Reena is acknowledging what Kobir just said and is now curious to know more. The word kal means yesterday, referring to the past event she is talking about. Tumi is the second person singular pronoun meaning you, which is semi-honorific. Ki means what, used here to inquire about the specific thing Kobir read. Porle is the past tense form of pora, means did read or did study. This question follows the simple past tense structure, asking about an action that took place in the past. Then Kobir responds, "Ami Bangla Sahitya porlam," means I read Bangla literature. Here, Ami, we all know, is the first person singular pronoun, which means I. Bangla Sahitya means Bangla literature, where Bangla refers to the Bengali language, and Sahitya means literature. Purlam is the past tense of pora, which means to read. This sentence follows the simple past tense pattern in Bangla, where Purlam indicates a complete action. This response tells us that Kobir spent his time reading Bengali literary works in the library or during the study time. Notice the verb conjugation here. Ami porlam and tumi porle. Let's continue observing the conversation. Reena says, "Onno bondhura ki korlo?" Reena says, "What did the other friends do?" Kobir responds, "Tara canteen e gelo." Kobir responded, "They went to the canteen." Reena asks, "Onno bondhura ki korlo?" which means, what did the other friends do? Here, onno means other, referring to the people besides Kobir. Bondhura, which is a plural form of bondhu, which means friends. The suffix ra indicates plurality. The question ki we know means what, used here to inquire about their actions. Korlo is the past tense of kora, meaning did. This sentence follows the simple past tense structure in Bangla, where Reena is asking about an action completed in the past. She wants to know what the rest of their friends did while she was absent. Kobir responds, "Tara canteen e gelo," means they went to eat in the canteen. Tara is the third person plural pronoun meaning they. Cantine means to the canteen, where a is a locative suffix indicating the movement towards a place. Gallo is the past tense of Java, means went. This sentence follows a simple past tense structure indicating that the group of friends went to the canteen to eat. Now, let's observe the last part of the conversation. Reena says, "College আর কিছু বিশেষ ঘটলো?" Reena says, "Did anything special happen in college?" Kobir responded, "হ্যাঁ, অধ্যাপক আমাদের নতুন একটি বিষয় বললেন." Kobir says, "Yes, the professor told us about a new topic." Reena says, "Oh, acha." Reena says, "Oh, okay." Reena asks, "কলেজে আর কিছু বিশেষ ঘটলো?" which means, did anything special happen in college? Here, college means in college, where the a suffix marks the location. R means else or more, indicating she is asking if anything additional or noteworthy took place. Bishesh means special or important. Ghotlo is the past tense of ghota, means happened. This sentence follows the simple past tense structure and shows that Reena is curious if there were any significant events in college that she might have missed. Kobi responded, হ্যাঁ, অধ্যাপক আমাদের নতুন একটি বিষয় বললেন, which means yes, the professor told us about a new topic. Here, হ্যাঁ means yes, confirming that something special did happen. অধ্যাপক means professor. Amader is the first person plural possessive pronoun, means our or to us. Notun means new. Ekti bishoy means about a topic, where ekti means one and bishoy means topic here. Here the verb bollen is the past tense of bola, means to say or tell, and the bollen means told. The sentence follows the simple past structure and informs Reena that an important academic discussion took place in her absence. Reena reacts with, oh, acha, which means, oh, okay. Now, let's watch another conversation between two friends discussing about a cricket match. Atul says, Kire Sagar, kalker bharoter khelata dekhli? Atul says, hey Sagar, did you watch yesterday's India match? Sagar says, হ্যাঁ, আমি খুব মনোযোগ দিয়ে দেখলাম. Sagar responded, yes, I watched it very attentively. In this part of conversation, we have two verbs in the simple past tense. One is dekhli, which agrees with informal second person and is the past tense of dekha, which means to see or to watch. For example, তুই কাল সিনেমাটা দেখলি, which means did you watch the movie yesterday? The next word is dekhlam, which agrees with the first person and it is past tense of dekha. For example, আমি খেলা দেখলাম, which means I watched the match. Some new vocabulary that we have learned here are kire. It is an informal way of saying hey or what's up in Bengali, addressing a close friend. It has a formal alternative also, that is, apni ki bolchen, means what are you saying? Another is kalker, which means yesterday's, which is a possessive form of kal. For example, kalker khobor শুনেছো? Did you hear yesterday's news? Another word that we have learned is khelata, which means the match, which is a definite form of khela, meaning game or match. For example, we have খেলাটা খুব উত্তেজনাপূর্ণ ছিল, which means the match was very exciting, and মনোযোগ দিয়ে means attentively. For example, তুমি মনোযোগ দিয়ে পড়ো, which means study attentively. Next, we will observe another conversation between these two friends. Atul says, কাল বিরাট খুব ভালো ব্যাটিং করলো. Atul says, Virat batted very well yesterday. Sagar replies, হ্যাঁ, আর রোহিতও দারুণ খেললো. Sagar says, yes, and Rohit also played brilliantly. Let's go through the simple verb forms in simple past tense that we saw here. First is korlo, which agrees with the third person singular and it is past tense of kora, which means did. Here, batting korlo means batted. For example, সে ভালো কাজ করলো means he or she did a good job. The next is then khello, agrees with third person singular and it is past tense of khela, which means to play. Here, khello means played. For example, ও খুব ভালো খেললো means he or she played really well. We got to know some new vocabulary such as kal. Kal means yesterday. It also means tomorrow, but context determines the meaning. For example, কাল আমি স্কুলে গিয়েছিলাম, which means I went to school yesterday. Another is খুব ভালো, which means very good or really well. For example, সে খুব ভালো গান গায়, which means he or she sings very well. Next is batting is a borrowed form from English used in cricket context. For example, তার ব্যাটিং দুর্দান্ত means his batting is excellent. The next is darun. Darun means brilliant or fantastic. For example, তোমার গল্পটা দারুণ, which means your story is brilliant. Let's continue with another conversation of Otul and Sagar. Otul says, সব দিক থেকে কোন দলটাকে তোমার সবচেয়ে ভালো বলে মনে হয়? Atul says, which team do you think performed the best overall? Sagar replies, ভারত ভালো খেললো, তবে অস্ট্রেলিয়াও খুব ভালো খেললো. Sagar says, India played really well, but Australia also played well. Otul says, হ্যাঁ, বেশ ভালো. Atul says, yes, quite good. Here, the verb খেললো agrees with third person singular. It is simple past tense of খেলা, used in ভারত দারুণ খেললো and Australia খুব ভালো খেললো. This form indicates a completed action in the past without emphasizing any connection to the present. In English, this corresponds to simple past, making it a direct past event. Some new vocabulary that we learned here is সব দিক থেকে means overall or from all aspects. For example, সব দিক থেকে বিচার করলে এটা ভালো পরিকল্পনা, which means considering all the aspects, this is a good plan. Next word is কোন, which means which. দল means team. Next word is মনে হয়, which means it seems or I think. Next is তবে means however or but. Next is বেশ, which means quite or fairly. Next we will observe another conversation between these two people. Sagar says, কালকের মাঠটা অস্ট্রেলিয়ার খেলার জন্য বেশ উপযুক্ত ছিল. Sagar says, the pitch was quite favorable for Australia's style of play. Atul says, হ্যাঁ, ঠিক বললি. Atul says, yes, you're right. Let's see the verb forms in the simple past tense that we learned here. ছিল, which agrees with third person singular. It is simple past tense of থাকা, used in কালকের মাঠটা অস্ট্রেলিয়ার জন্য বেশ উপযুক্ত ছিল. This verb form indicates a state of condition in the past. For example, সে কাল খুব খুশি ছিল, which means he was very happy yesterday. Next word is bolli, which agrees with second person informal. It is simple past of bola, used in হ্যাঁ, ঠিক বললি. This verb form is used when speaking to a friend or someone close. Example, তুই ঠিক বললি, which means you said it right. Some new vocabulary that we learned here is মাঠ, which means field or pitch. For example, আমরা মাঠে ক্রিকেট খেললাম. We played cricket on the field. Next is খেলার জন্য, which means for playing or for the game. উপযুক্ত, which means suitable or favorable. For example, এটা শীতের জন্য উপযুক্ত পোশাক, which means this is a suitable clothing for winter. The last word is ঠিক, which means right or correct. Let's look at another conversation between these two. Sagar says, তুই মাঝের ওভারগুলো দেখেছিস? Sagar says, did you watch the middle overs? Atul replies, হ্যাঁ, অবশ্যই. Atul replies, yes, of course. Then Sagar says, oh, আমি তখন একটু কাজে ব্যস্ত ছিলাম. Sagar says, oh, I was a bit busy then. The verb forms in this simple past tense is দেখেছিস, which agrees with second person informal. It is past perfect tense of দেখা, used in তুই মাঝের ওভারগুলো দেখেছিস. This verb form indicates that the action of watching was completed before the moment of speaking. Example, তুই সিনেমাটা দেখেছিস? Which means, have you watched the movie? Next is ছিলাম, which agrees with the first person singular simple. It is past tense of থাকা, used in আমি তখন একটু কাজে ব্যস্ত ছিলাম. This verb form describes a past tense or condition. For example, আমি গতকাল ক্লাসে ছিলাম, which means I was in class yesterday. So, the new vocabulary we learned here is মাঝের, which means middle, as in the middle part of something. For example, মাঝের সময়টা খুব গুরুত্বপূর্ণ. The middle period is very important. Next word is over, which means over as a cricket term. Next is অবশ্যই, which means of course or definitely. For example, আমি অবশ্যই যাব, which means I will definitely go. Next is oh, which means oh as an exclamation. Then it is তখন, which means then, referring to a past moment. কাজে ব্যস্ত, which means busy with work. For example, সে সারাদিন কাজে ব্যস্ত থাকে, which means he stays busy with work all day. Next, here is a chart of pronouns and verb conjugation in simple past forms with an everyday verb kor. Okay, next, let's form some sentences with this using the noun kaj, means work, and observe these forms in the sentences. In first person or uttam purush, in singular, আমি কাজ করলাম, I did the work. In plural, আমরা কাজ করলাম, we did this work. In second person or মধ্যম পুরুষ, singular, informal, তুই কাজ করলি, you did the work. In plural, তোরা কাজ করলি, which also means you did the work. Second person singular, semi formal, তুমি কাজ করলে, which is singular, which means you did the work. In plural, semi formal, তোমরা কাজ করলে, it also means you did the work. Second person singular honorific, আপনি কাজ করলেন, which means you did the work. And second person plural honorific, আপনারা কাজ করলেন, which means you did the work. Next is third person, প্রথম পুরুষ. In singular, semi formal, সে কাজ করলো, which means he or she did the work. In plural, semi-formal, তারা কাজ করলো, they did the work. Third person singular honorific, তিনি কাজ করলেন, he or she did the work. Third person plural honorific, তারা কাজ করলেন, they did the work. So that brings us to the end of this lesson. Stay curious, keep practicing, and soon Bangla will feel even more natural to you. ধন্যবাদ।